good defensively.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome, folks. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for the latest presentation of our NBA basketball. Alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. And on the sidelines, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. It's East versus West here in Toronto. The Raptors hope to put on a show for their hometown fans. We have two teams tonight, Doris, with a lot of experience between them. What type of game, in your view, does that typically result in?
Well, typically you see a very well-played game, very few turnovers from either side, a high level of execution on both the offensive and defensive ends, and sometimes it comes down to the little things. Who wins the 50-50 balls? Who goes to the free throw line more? When you're talking about two high-caliber, experienced teams, it's the little things that make a difference.
Attention to detail, well said. And the starting group for the Spurs, DeRozan and Aldridge, the talented forward duo. Murray out there with White, and it's Pirtle in at the center, locking down the middle. Now here's Green from 15 feet away, rebound by Murray. All right, now let's find out what head coach Nick Nurse had to say to David Aldridge. David.
Well, Kevin, he said for them to be successful, they have to act like, and I quote, a swarm of angry bees, unquote, every time the ball goes into the post. If they don't, he thinks they're going to be in for a long night. Kevin?
Okay, David, thanks. And so it's the Raptors getting on the board first. And White kicks to DeRozan. Over Gasol. And it's DeRozan missing.
Yeah, but the hand in the face, it's critical that you contest his shots every time down the floor.
Siakam, good.
Well, this is a guy who understands his role in their offense, right? And they know exactly how to use him.
So it's the Spurs now. The Raptors getting the bucket. Outside, White. Here's DeRozan. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
Well, we know this about DeMar DeRozan. The mid-range has always been a special part of his game. And, boy, you do not want to let him start to cook from there.
The shot by Lowry, no good.
Boy, that's exactly how you have to play defense when he's driving the lane. You cannot give him any space.
And DeRozan with the basket on the assist by Murray. DeRozan's got his second bucket.
Well, this guy is so good at keeping his focus on the rim. DeMar DeRozan likes going right at the defense.
The drive by Lowry. It's deflected. White against Green. If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Lowry against Murray. Clock at 6. The Spurs need to get a shot off here. Aldridge. And
To get into a groove. Look out.
Lowry kicks to Leonard. Fades away. And no good. And the Spurs going the other way now. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played. Up top to DeRozan. He's covered by Leonard. To the left wing. Outside Aldridge. Fires the three. And it's White missing. And here's Lowry. He'll bring it up for the Toronto Raptors. Siakam, good. Siakam's got 5 now.
Well, for all the talk about the accurate shooters in the league, give it up to Kyle Lowry for his precise passing ability.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Kyle Lowry, one of the better rebounders you'll see at that point guard position.
Well, at 6'1", he does an incredible job rebounding the position, particularly given his size.
And some changes here for the Raptors. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Gasol. Norman Powell comes in for Danny Green. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Kyle Lowry. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Bertans, he's checked in for Jakob Poeltl. Gay comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Bryn Forbes, he's checked in for White. And it's Mills in for DeJounte Murray. Ibaka, no luck. Spurs trail by 3. Here's Bertans. Kicks to Mills. Left side, DeRozan.
Oh, my goodness. Save that one. I want to see that again.
Me too. Just absolutely beautiful. Toronto's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Here's VanVleet, covered by Mills. Here's Leonard. And that's collected by Gay.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
No, exactly, Greg. Especially when the ball is that deep inside. You've got to respect how he altered that shot.
Here's VanVleet after the basket by San Antonio. Passes it to Leonard. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. The Spurs making a switch here. Bellinelli's checked in. Now here's Powell. He's covered closely. 6 to shoot. Shoots the 3. Rebound San Antonio. 32 seconds left to play here in the first. That shot wide open. Gay's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
Oh, great ball.
Ibaka plays, especially on the glass. He understands how to use his length.
And so it's DeMar DeRozan making highlights for San Antonio. He notched 8 points in the quarter and has that terrific basketball instinct on display. And we'll be right back after this. Making his mark in Toronto, guard Kyle Lowry talked about the pioneers of Canadian basketball, like Vince Carter.
Vince Carter really changed the game of basketball in Canada. He created something that is forever lasting, And I think the game of basketball in Canada owes him a lot because he really brought the buzz to the game of basketball in Canada.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Carter's exciting style of play, GA, really energized the whole country.
And playing basketball in a hockey town isn't easy, but Carter really helped get this city and country energized about the game of basketball.
And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And guys, what's your take on the Spurs so far?
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
You love that they're making the offense work, right? Making every single thing they try to do hard.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. Setting the floor for the Raptors. We've got Ibaka. Kawhi Leonard is out there with Norman Powell. And it's Siakam in at the four-man position. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Kevin, the league has unveiled a 5-point plan to improve player-referee relations.
Mind the lane.
Things became heated last season with a lot of star players ejected for arguing with officials. The emphasis on respect and clear standards of conduct on both sides can only help. Kevin?
Very good point, David. Completely agree. Thanks. Well, with Kawhi Leonard gone, a new era for the Spurs. Even with the addition of DeMar DeRozan, San Antonio looks to be entering their most significant rebuild in decades.
Yeah, but at least they were able to get a star in DeRozan. Now, I would call it more of a reload than a rebuild for the Spurs. Still a lot of talent to work with on that roster.
Leonard kicks to Powell. Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. Forbes with the rebound.
Boy, it's tough to see how he misses that one. I don't think the defense was all that tight on him.
Gay can't get it to go.
Well, I'll tell you, still looking for that first three of the second quarter. He had one to open this game in the first.
Siakam passes to Powell. Here's Van Vliet. Lets it go. And, yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Van Vliet's got his second basket. And so it's Mills who will bring it up for San Antonio. It's a three-point game. He kicks it to Gay. Pass to Bertans. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Bertans got it all tied up now for the Spurs.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Van Vliet passes to Leonard over Bellinelli, and that one's good. Leonard and the Raptors lead by 2.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
San Antonio calls timeout. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to